All right. So we'll do one more. We'll do Karaniya Metta Sutta. How about that? So this way Gabriella and Reed can chant along if you want. Okay. Karaniya Matta Kusulena Yantang Santang Padang Abhisamecha Sako Ujucha Sujucha Suvachucha Sumudu Anatimani Santusakocha Subharocha Appakitchocha Sallahukavuti Santindriyocha Nipakocha Appagabbo Kulesu Ananugido Nachakuddang samachare kinchi yena vinyu pareyu pavadeyung sukhino va kemeno hontu sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata ye kechi panna bhutati tasava tavarava anavasesa dighava ye mahantava majjhima rasika nukatula Dittava yeva ditta ye chadore vasante avidore Buttava sambhave siva sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata Naparo parang nikubetta nyatimanyetta katachinang kanchi Vyarosana patigasanya nanyamanyasa dukkamichaya Matta yata niyang putang ayusa ekaputang anurakke evang pisabba bhutesu manasang bhaveya parimanang mettang cha sabba lokasming manasang bhaveya parimanang udhang adocha tiriyancha asambhadang averang asapatang Titang charang nesinnova sayanova yavatassa vigitamiddo etang sating aditteya brahmametang viharang idhamahu titincha nupagamma silava dasanena sampano kamesu vinegedang nahi jatu gambasayang punaretiti. That's enough chanting for me for tonight. I can already feel my throat is I'm getting a little coarse, but we'll read it in the English. One skilled and good, wishing to attain that state of peace, should act thus. One should be able, straight, and upright, obedient, gentle, and humble. So this is the part of the Karaniya Metta Sutta that's often kind of omitted, right? And a lot of people will chant what's coming up next. But sometimes this is omitted. Even at Bhavana, when we chant the English, this is omitted. This is 16 ways of trying to practice well that one should do, wishing to attain awakening, right? Wishing to practice metta. So there's able, straight, upright, straight in your sila, straight in your morality, straight, upright, right? Obedient, gentle, and humble. One should be content, easy to support, with few duties, easy to support. That's why I always say monks are a cheap date. Right? It shouldn't cost too much to keep up a monk. They should be able to accept whatever food. I mean, obviously medical issues aside, whatever there is, we should be able to practice being content with them, easy to support, with few duties. This is a problem for many of us monks. This is right. Few duties. The more duties you have, like I did, like the last couple of years of Bhavana, too many duties, way too many duties. So my metta was hurt. My metta fell. My right, my practice fell. All kinds of stuff because I had too many duties. Living lightly, controlled in senses, discreet, not impudent, unattached to families. So this one is interesting. Unattached to families some people think that this means that, your own family, and I guess it can mean that, but really what this means is the Buddha encourages monastics not to be attached to the people who support you, right? You don't, just because a family supports you a lot, you shouldn't get attached to them, right? And that's hard to do because you feel like when people help you out and support you, you really feel like you feel good about it and you want to help them out and do all these kind of things, and you can get attached to them. So you're not supposed to, yeah. That's what unattached for families. One should not do any slight wrong which the wise might censure. Right. This is an important thing as well that they see. The Buddha talks about, even in the Kalama Sutta, right? The Kesaputtiya Sutta, the Buddha talks about, don't just go by what the teacher says or what reports say or this or that, but go by what, you experience, is this good or bad, but right, because we can't trust our own perceptions 100%, we have to trust but verify, right? we don't know. So you having somebody, a Kalyana Mitta, who's a wise person, right, to be able to run it by them, right, then they can at least give you some feedback. Well, I think you're probably wrong in this case. Right. So this is why, which the wise might censure, right? If you know wise, good people, you take their opinions into consideration. May all beings be happy and secure. Now, here's where we know, this is where we get into what most people know. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long or large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Right? This is very important. This is when I do my guided meditations. Actually, I wasn't planning on chanting Karaniya Metta, but I was planning on doing guided Metta for our guided meditation during this Dhammapalooza. So this worked out perfect, right? So this is important that Metta is limitless goodwill, right? Limitless. Appamana. It means there's no boundaries. No boundaries. Visible or invisible. Living near or far. Born or coming to birth. Right? Without exception. Right? We don't make any exceptions. So it's very easy for our minds when we do our metta. May all these beings be well happy, except for that person. That person. May all beings be well happy, except for that person, right? Our minds will be like that. But that's okay. That's because our minds are not masters of metta yet. We train our minds to be so. Right? No limits for metta. Appamana, no limits, limitless. Mahagada, exalted. That is what our metta should be. Adriana, I swear my neighbor has been extra noisy during my metta practice. Your neighbor is giving you an opportunity to practice metta, an opportunity to practice, patient endurance. Okay. Mohammed. Yeah. Well, the problem is, okay, Mohammed Jallo says, I've never found it hard to send metta for literally everyone. Is that unusual? The problem is myself. The problem is you're part of everyone. Buddha's very clear, right? Like anytime Buddha's talking about the benefit, there's always this three-pronged thing. It's the benefit of yourself, benefit of others, and the benefit of both. Right? And I swear I have to find, I'm sure I put it in my compendium, but I remember maybe about 6-7 months ago coming across that sutta where the Buddha literally says you don't sacrifice yourself for others. Like you don't like, you don't push yourself aside, your own practice, your own healthcare, your own this, your own that for others, right? It's always about both. For yourself, for others, and for both. right? So that's very important. Of course, having metta, this is what it is. People will find that it's like, well, it's like, I don't need to take care of myself. I'm, or I don't need to, I like others more than I like myself, or I want to take care of others more than myself, right? So that's kind of what that can be is a neglecting of your duties to yourself. That's what it is, right? You're avoiding taking care of yourself, or you're avoiding looking, meditating and looking what's inside, and maybe the self-hatred and the self-criticism and all that stuff. You're avoiding that because it's much easier to put your efforts on somebody else, right? That's why you see a lot of relationships where that happens, and those usually don't end well, right? So that's an important thing, that you have to make sure that you take care of yourself, and you always include yourself in any kind of metta. All of us, that's the term I use. You see, when I do the guided meditation, all of us includes you. So, all right. So where was I here? Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings one should cultivate a boundless heart. Now, this is another line that is important, actually. It's kind of, this is where knowledge of Pali and context and all kinds of stuff, and also knowledge of the suttas, makes a big difference, because you will see that this line is actually greatly misinterpreted. And you have three giants that tell you that it's misinterpreted: Bhante G, Ajahn Jeff, Thanissaro Bhikkhu, and Bhante Analio. Right? They all agree on what this line means. Right? So, as a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings one should cultivate a boundless heart. This doesn't mean that you're supposed to, treat all beings like your child, or like you should protect all beings like a mother protects her child. That's not what this means. What this means is, right, even this translation, I don't know, but you get the context. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings one should cultivate a boundless heart. So really what this means is that, like, you got to think about your metta in your mind like a little baby, and you're holding the baby close, like, okay, mind with metta, we got to nurture the baby, right? You don't want to, you want to nurture your mind, and you want to protect your mind of metta. And then when somebody comes up and yells at you, and all of a sudden your mind is like, and you just drop your baby of metta. Your metta fell on the ground, and your anger and ill will comes out, right? So you want to protect your metta like a mother would protect their only child, right? Like, people who have children, the first child, there's like, worried about dust and everything. You're like, they're freaking out because they want to make sure that their child is. But by the third one, it's like, they'll be okay. So that's what that means. It means that you protect your metta, your mind of metta. You protect your mind of metta like a mother would protect their only child. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around. Udhang adho chatiryancha. Right? Unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. Whether standing, walking, or sitting, lying down, or whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here. Brahmang Viharang. Brahma, the highest gods, the highest heavenly realms. Vihara means to dwell, to live in. So the Buddha is saying, when you have a mind of metta, it's like a mind that's in heaven, right? And you can see that mind, if you meditate and you start to really examine what a heavy, angry mind is, it's like a real hellish, heavy, horrible mind state. It's much nicer, much lighter to have a mind of metta. Not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. So that's Karaniya Metta Sutta.